Hi everyone, my name is Tracy, your host for Healing Starts With You, an astrology and healing podcast. So today I'm going to talk about trauma and how it's so important to release it from your life. So as a master astrologist, I can go into your past, into your present, and into your future. And what I notice is we do carry a lot of trauma. It could just be like something that happened when you were a child and you're unable to release it and you have difficulties in this present moment. But sometimes it could be suppressed emotions. And I know for even experience, when you have suppressed emotions, it's very difficult to let them go. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is when you have trauma, it's really up to you. Okay. Whether you want to dig deep into your past, you always have free will. And what happens is when you don't look into that trauma, it affects your present lifetime. It affects your relationships, your career. It could be anything in your life. So I'm going to give you an example. I worked in a nursing home for about 30 years, looked after people that had a lot of mental issues. Okay. And I'm going to tell you a story about one of those beautiful, beautiful ladies that lived there and how she had deep trauma and how it affected her life. Okay. So this beautiful, beautiful lady, she was about 85 and she used to carry this little dolly around all the time and she would never, ever, ever let it go. Even when she went to go eat, she went to bed or whatever she was doing, she hung tight to that little dolly. Okay. And so I really wanted to find out why she was doing this, right? And I found out that she was in the war and her and her family were fleeing the war and they were in a little tiny boat and she was hanging tight to these two little girls, hanging tight, and she didn't want to let them go. And so as they were in this tiny boat with a lot of other people as well, there was like a lot of waves and it was rocking the boat. And one of her little girls ended up in the water and she died. And this affected her so, so much that for her, holding on to that dolly represented her daughter, right? So when I heard this story, I was like, oh my God, this is so much trauma in her life. And can you imagine experiencing that? And how do you deal with that, right? So, of course, when you hear that kind of story, it just tugs at your heart, right? And you want to help them so much. So this is what I mean about trauma and how you can carry it, sometimes even for a lifetime, and the difficulty you must face to let it go. So as an astrologist, I can go into your past, find out what's happening in the future, and how you can let it go. But it's really, really up to you. You always have free will. You can always make that choice. And sometimes your soul is not ready, right? And I see this all the time. Sometimes we carry that trauma for a reason, right? And it's up to the soul to decide whether you want to release it or not. But once you heal the trauma, you will heal your life. So let me know in the comments below what you think and always subscribe to my podcast. Thank you.